Well, I'm not a very compassionate coach, to be honest.
Okay, what on earth are you talking about? Like, you are one of the most compassionate men I know.
No, I'm not talking about families and people like that. I'm talking about sports. Like, when I coached, players, I couldn't stand whiners. You know, I mean, I just don't like whiners. And so what happens is I would say, if you're not broken or bleeding, don't come crying to me.
Okay, I actually tried that line with my daughter one time when she got hurt.
Mom.
Okay, she pulled me aside afterwards and literally looked at me and said, "Mom, you need to go to compassion school."
She didn't.
Oh, I'm dead serious. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe she said that.
I can kind of, but why do you think that 13-year-old would be saying that to you?
Well, I know why she said it to me, because she always wants more, but she gets that rightfully. We come from a line of women in our family that we really like being the center stage.
Oh, excuse me, that's an understatement. I mean, she got that directly from you.
Okay, do not be saying understatement. My family, I talk about my family, okay?
Forgive me, forgive me.
But when it comes to Taylor, honestly, she knows how to manipulate me as her mom, and I didn't want to respond to that. And the other thing is, I had seen like moms who babied their kids every time
spoiled them.
Yes, every time they bumped a knee or something. And like you said, they grow up to be whiners. And so I didn't want to reinforce that.
And that's why you and I love tough love. Hey, we like that part where, we don't give them what they want, we give them what they need.
Okay, now it's interesting. Actually, I say that's real love. Because that's what's healthy. It's not just what's tough, but even within that healthy, good love, we can still hurt each other.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? Because there's two kinds of hurt. One's actually the productive type. Just like when you were telling her, I'm not going to spoil you, right? That's when you tell a kid, listen, don't drink and drive. That's productive. You tell them it kind of hurts, but they need to hear that. Then there's the destructive kind of hurt. That's actually where it's all about me, where I'm pushing, I'm controlling, I'm hurting the other person. It's where, well, a spouse might say, run up the credit card bill and just tell their spouse where to get off.
Well, and when it comes to pain, I'm telling you, let's admit it, we all live in a culture that denies pain, runs from pain, medicates pain. Nobody wants pain.
Yeah, well, sing about it too.
Oh, yeah, I know. And the country music...
She likes country music. Can you believe that? She likes country music. That's pain in itself.
Okay, no, it is not.
Sure, 5% of the country listens, the rest are in pain.
Okay, I cannot... Okay, everybody disregard what he just said and do not trash my music. That's what I was raised on. But whether you're singing about it or whether it's real life, nobody likes pain.
And it's all about hurts. And you know what? No matter where you come from in this situation, where you feel you're the one who's maybe being taken advantage of, or the one who may be doing the hurting, this program is for you. Stay with us. We're going to teach you how to love without being hurt.
We're talking about hurt, we're talking about pain. I mean, the kind of pain that you don't recover from. I mean, it pushes people apart, and you've got things etched in your memory that are going to be there forever. Really so it doesn't sound fun to talk about this, but you know what? We're talking about it because we're not going to let it stay behind closed doors any longer.
And I agree. Christie, we're so privileged in this show to have an amazing expert. He's helped over 3,000 couples in this area of anger and abuse and helping relationships work. He's a teacher, international speaker, and he's authored this great book, Love Without Hurt. Would you welcome Dr. Stephen Stosny? Good to have you. Good to have you. Thank you for the privilege of just joining us. It's awesome.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Now, listen, you got started at some point getting into talking about abuse and difficult stuff in marriage. Like what possessed you to get going in that area?
Well, I grew up in a violent home, so I got interested at about the age of 3.
Oh my goodness.
But I really got into the field accidentally. I was teaching at the University of Maryland, and one of my colleagues got a grant to develop prevention for domestic violence, and he got sick, meaning the university would have to give back the money if somebody didn't take it over. And if you know anything about universities,
they don't give back money.
They're not giving back money. So I was sort of drafted into it, so I had to kind of face my skeletons that way.
Okay, now talking about skeletons, you said 3. So give us a snapshot of how bad this abuse was.
Well, I have a hole in my head that I got at age 3.
Okay, are you serious?
Yeah, when I have little kid clients, I let them put their fingers in it because a small finger can turn all the way around. My father was a carpenter, and he was putting a room on our house. To let you know how long ago it was, the room was indoor bathroom. I know you're thinking I don't look that old, right?
Oh, that's the first thing I thought,
First thing
Stephen.
you thought, right? So he had put up the plaster for the wall all morning, and I came in with a little stick thinking it was dry, and it wasn't. Oh. And he just got so angry, he picked up a shingle and threw it, and it lodged in my skull, and they were afraid to pull it out because it bent under, so they had to drill a little hole to get it out.
Really?
But you know, the only thing I remember about that is the shocked looks of the adults in the emergency room of the hospital. It was a 3-year-old with a shingle sticking out of his head. But what I remember very vividly are not only my parents fighting, but just not speaking to each other.
The icy feeling in the room.
Yeah, we had a long sofa. They'd sit at either end, not speaking to each other. That is etched in, that was 50 years ago, and it's etched in my head more clearly than the violence that was.
Well, and I was going to say, and it shows that the injury to our body is not necessarily as damaging as what's just happening relationally inside a home.
That's right. And the effects on children is, see, I used to think I was weird, and I didn't tell anybody about that for years until I started researching it. Children monitor their parents very carefully.
Yeah, they got the feelers out.
Yes, because the only thing they can do for their survival is attach to someone who's going to take care of them.
Yes.
So if you guys can't get along together, I'm going to feel really
What do they attach?
Scared.
Exactly.
But, and interesting as parents, because don't we downplay how much the kids really are picking up from us? I mean, we really minimize.
In 20 years, I've never seen a child who didn't know about tension between their parents. Never.
Wow. It's not like we can hide it from them.
In fact, they know your moods better than you do. They're not as verbal, so they go in nonverbal cues more.
Sure.
Stephen, I want to jump on this whole idea of this emotional damage that you were talking about, because you said that in some ways it was worse than actually getting physically injured from your father. And this is happening in relationships, dating, parents and kids and husbands and wives all around us.
Psychological abuse is more damaging than physical abuse unless the physical abuse does permanent injury like maiming or crippling. Otherwise, it hurts more to be emotionally harmed because we are programmed, I call it the mirror of love. We're programmed to learn about how lovable we are and how valuable our love is to other people only by interacting with people we love. You don't learn that in school.
Right.
You learn it just by interacting with people you love.
And in these families where this abuse is going on and there's the explosion, then people have to walk on these eggshells, right?
Constantly
and that is difficult too, because they don't know what to say, what's right and wrong. I don't want to flare up another incident, and so their whole life is reading, and that really messes them up too. It's not just the incidents themselves.
In fact, there's more damage done by walking on eggshells than by the incidents. And a lot of times people will precipitate an incident to relieve the tension of walking on eggshells. The problem with walking on eggshells, if you do that enough, if you second guess yourself enough, you're going to lose a sense of who you are.
Okay, and I've got to just jump in here because there's people who are listening and they're listening to us talk about emotional abuse like it's out there.
Right.
It has nothing to do with my relationship, and yet they're the ones who are in an emotionally abusive relationship and they're not realizing, or the walking on eggshells. We've got a quiz on our website that you can go to. Answer the questions, and it might really open your eyes to the kind of relationship you are in.
And there's actually two, right? There's one that's all about walking on eggshells, and there's one for the abuser that's all about, are your fangs showing? And so I dare you, if you're listening and you think you may have a problem there, take that quiz too. It'll show you what's going on. You stay with us.